let's talk about Meadow because I feel I have some feelings for this game, so I just want to bring you in blind. So the trailer, the first thing that everybody sees and everybody's looking at when they come to see what a game is about. So it starts with some opening shots of the world or whatever, and it immediately transitions from the Badger Cub, which is the first character you play as in the game, over to the Premium Bear, who finds some other kids, and then every shot beyond that point is focused on an animal that it does not ship with the game. It's the trailer does a better job of showing off what you get if you purchase all their other games, and it barely showcases any of the unlockables and collectibles you actually obtain in the game. On the other hand, it is showing off the gameplay, which is unaltered by the appearance of your animal, obviously. But the problem is that the whole game is about unlocking animals and skins, and there's barely 3 hours of that to do. You are under the expectation that there are a lot of different animals, but in reality, if you don't have any of the other games like me, you're only going to unlock 4. The Badger Cub is the only character with more than 3 skins to unlock, but they are planning to add more skins to the goat, rabbit, and frog, and more animals in the future. But right now, about, 3 weeks after launch, it's still just 4 animals, and that's it. So when I first watched the trailer, the impression I got is that I would explore the world, and as I explored the world, I would be rewarded with new skins and things that would show off how much I explored. And there are the endgame skins where you get the really cool looking like symbols all over your animal or whatever. And I thought I was under the impression that I could play as an animal and get through that point, and it would take a long time to get to that point, so that would actually mean something when you had those skins. But the problem is the Badger is the only one with more than 3 skins. It has I'm guessing 10, 12, whatever skins. And I haven't seen a Badger Cub with the end tier skin, which is cool because if you actually play as the Badger and get those end tier skins and explore, then you are going to be rewarded. But if you play as the frog, the rabbit, or the goat, which all have, their ups to them, whereas the Badger is sort of just the default kind of character that can't really do anything. They just run around and follow the guys. But there's not much incentive to play as the Badger Cub because you are going to be lacking behind. You're going to be not able to jump as high as the other ones. You're not as fast. You have none of the ups of the other characters. All of the characters have one feature. Obviously the rabbit is probably faster, and frog jumps higher, swims faster. The goat is faster. The cub is basically just a default character, but instead of giving him something interesting about him, something that would just make it worth playing the Badger, other than just a default, no special anything about it, and you are slower. That's the only things for the Badger. That's it. You're just slower. The other problem is that there are Badgers everywhere, and one of the gameplay mechanics of the game is that you group up with people, preferably the most varied amount of. You want the most variation in species that you can when you're playing with other people. You want to have, a frog, a rabbit, bear, lynx, everything. Because there are rocks that spawn in, and the rocks have 2 requirements. You need a certain amount of people, which is why you group up with people, and you need a certain type of animal. And up to 2 different types of animals is what you need. And so that's another incentive to not play as the Badger, because there's always going to be Badgers. There's always going to be people who just got in and are messing around until much later in the game's lifetime. So maybe that problem will be resolved as time comes. But right now, I feel like the trailer is incredibly misleading because it does not at any point tell you anywhere on the screen or indicate in any fashion that the game does not boot with these characters. All it shows is the den, which is sort of the main menu, and it shows all of the animals in it, and then you select the animals and you go off. So the trailer is kind of misleading, but that's why we have the About This game, so we can learn more. Don't just take the trailer and run with it. So vast, teeming with life, and now unique social experience. Might and Delight invites you to frolic freely in the lush fields of Meadow, a unique multiplayer sandbox. Unlike traditional titles from the Shelter franchise, in Meadow, the more time spent embracing the gameplay features in this world, the more you received. Well, we know how that goes. Owning any previous Shelter-related titles or products will also unlock in-game content. So just a little cover, they put it out there. The open landscape also provides ample room for exploration with new patches and additions promised. So they've been keeping up with that. They've been adding things. Band together with other animals, form uneasy allies, or choose to explore alone. Whatever you decide, the open park life is one you will want to immerse yourself in. Main features. Play as any combination of animals on land, water, air in the largest expanse of land ever created for a shelter game. Yep, that's all good. Communicate with other animals via specially created emotes, symbols, and sounds. Well, no, you only get one sound unless you pay money to get other soundtracks, which unlock different abilities. Use senses to discover and track other players in the world. Yeah, that's true. You have like two different ways of tracking people. Visit the den to choose from up to 9 different animals, over 60 skins, and over 90 expressions and symbols to unlock. That's where that's really sketchy. There are only 4 animals in the game that you can play without paying. There's only 9 different skins on top of the badger, which you get by default. And 90 expressions is also misleading, considering that 5 out of the 9 animals in this game are premium. So they aren't, the numbers 60 and 90 come from including that you have bought every single other game they have made. Well, Shelter, Shelter 2, and Pause, which is really dumb. The more Shelter titles and products you own, the more bonuses you unlock. So, I mean, they're not trying to hide it, which is good. They're trying to put it out there. But they're doing it in a very poorly conveyed fashion where they're trying to dance around it while also making sure they can get away whenever somebody says, like, hey, I feel like I got kind of scammed here. They go, no, it was in your face the whole time. New original music, yeah. So then we move on to this. This is the interesting one. Shelter products in Meadow. So owning any Shelter game will unlock the ability to play as that animal in Meadow. Example, owning Shelter 2 unlocks the links, etc. So, okay, yeah, so you can unlock the link, you can play as the people from the other Meadow games, that's fine. Owning all games, no soundtracks or books included, will give you the possibility to play as the adorable bear cub from Pause, so yep, you can unlock the links and the bear so far, and, from Shelter, the badger parent, so there you go. Gain unique sound abilities if you own any combination of soundtracks. Gain sound abilities, period, because you can't unlock any sound abilities in the game. The only way to unlock them is to buy soundtracks. Owning our interactive books will unlock unique 3-dimensional emotes. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. For the collector and owner of the entire Shelter catalog, you unlock the ability to play as a bird. And this one, I'm fine with, because as the bird, aka the eagle, you cannot pick up anything. The only thing you can do is help people unlock the rocks, the stones, which is fine. So playing as the eagle is purely just an exploring thing. It's like a reward for owning all of their things, which is fine. I have no problem with that. So the problem is basically just the one sentence, visit the den to choose up to 9 different animals, over 60 skins and 90 expressions and symbols to unlock, which is completely wrong. It's a huge overestimate what is actually currently in the game, and it's not it's not a main feature. It's not, they should be trying to explain what comes in the game without any of this thing. Like, it should be visit then to choose up to 4 different animals over whatever skins, whatever expressions and symbols to unlock. And then you basically just copy and paste that down to Shelter products in Meadow and get rid of this owning all games, owning all Shelter. Get rid of that crap and just jam it in there. Buy our products to choose from up to 5 different animals over blank skins, blank expressions, whatever. It shouldn't be under main features, but most people aren't going to read this about the game anyways. They watch the trailer, they get the idea, they'll skim over this, they'll see like, okay, so there's some bonuses if you own their previous games. Like, you get rewarded through exploring by emotes, skins, and new animals. Except the problem is that there are more premium skins, emotes, and animals than there are non-premium skins, emotes, and animals. So, I mean, it's just a little fishy. It's just, I feel like they weren't trying to hide it, but it was really poorly conveyed, the actual extent of the content that is premium and is not. So, I just feel like I got a little bit scammed. So now, let's see what other people think. Let's see what other people are thinking about it. So we'll start with the for the Steam recommendation. So the top Steam recommendation is basically saying something similar. Fun game for price. It's a little misleading. As a beginner, you're sort of led to believe that yellow crystals unlock animals, and for any of the other ones, you need to buy DLC, which is kind of stupid. And he basically feels a little duped. Yep. And then we have another one. My only problem with this game is that the only way to unlock certain animals, like Lynx, is buying and owning other games from the Shelter series, and it's not really made clear. The way to unlock new animals is absurd. It basically just talks about you can only unlock animals through 3 animals without buying the game. This literally ruins the game. I don't agree with him on that. But he's basically saying that it kind of goes against the whole point of the game, where it's like you explore to unlock new characters and things, but you can just pay money and get more animals than you would get if you'd actually played the game, which is kind of weird. Kind of like, hey, stop. And then there is one of the responses from the beta testers who's played the game for a while, and her response is, I don't see why. This game is very, very cheap, and their other titles are owned by a large percentage of their player base. The way I think of it is that this was an add-on game to the series, and a way for new people to come in and try it out for a fairly low price, and maybe get interested in the other titles as well. I see a ton of lynxes and lynx cubs, bears, and adult badgers all over the place. Half the people or more I see are using a shelter-related animal, a $4 game to give the fan base, and the multiplayer they've been wanting. And an intro for new players seems fine to me, since it rewards the loyal fanbase that have been playing the games and still provides content for the newbies too. The gameplay is unlocking the animals and things, and the amount of content that is premium to non-premium is, and since we're talking about such a small amount of content to begin with, it's a really big deal that there's more premium content than there is non-premium content. Just because there's a large player base that does have the games doesn't mean you can just sell this game without really making it clear that in order to get the full experience, you're going to need to pay $40 for all of their other games. So, in my opinion, the game is good. The game is fine. If they would have, I have no problem with the game itself. I just feel kind of cheated that I unlocked the goat, which is the last animal you can unlock, after about 3.5 hours of play, and then I was kind of confused. I was like, why am I not unlocking any other animals? I thought there were 9 different animals in this game. I've been seeing lynxes, cubs, all sorts of stuff, and no, actually, I look it up, and guess what? There's no shit. You've already unlocked every animal in the game. And $3 for 5 hours is fine. I'm probably going to keep playing the game every now and then because it is a very calming atmospheric game. And I do enjoy the exploration aspects, and I doubt I've seen even half of the world. So I'm just kind of disappointed in how under the carpet the whole DLC thing is. It doesn't really get mentioned at all. It just kind of gets swept away to the side so you don't see it, and they hope people don't really notice it or care too much, and then they haven't really said anything about it. So you can't complain though. They made the game. The game is fun. It works. It's just I felt like there was less content than I expected, and I wasn't really I don't know. It just felt kind of scammed a little bit. So. But they're consistently updating the game, adding optimizations, new content, all sorts of stuff, so can't complain that much. But so that's what I think about Meadow. So, I mean, I'm 16 and my brain is probably half the size of yours, so my opinion doesn't really go that far, but whatever. I just wanted to put it out there as a sort of warning that it might not come across as what it looks like, so.